It's not just a room, it's a haven, an escape. It's an amazing place. Let's celebrate. Every stretch, every spoon, every wish upon the moon. Night owls, early birds, crowd surfs. Every day, every night. Amazing.
It's amazing what a little snooze can do.
A LISTNR production.
It's Monday, December 15. Good morning, I'm Shaun. Maynard. 16 people, including a gunman, have now been killed in a shooting at Bondi Beach last night.
This is a targeted attack on Jewish Australians on the first day of Hanukkah, which should be a day of joy, a celebration of faith, an act of evil anti-Semitism, terrorism that has struck the heart of our nation.
That's PM Anthony Albanese. Up to 38 others injured, 29 in hospital. A second gunman critical. 2 people have been arrested after police swarmed a home in Sydney's southwest overnight. The AFP is investigating whether there's any further threat to shoot Jewish Australians, leaving the terror threat at probable. And our Premier says the scenes that came out of Bondi last night were heartbreaking and truly horrific. Peter Malinauskas says he's reached out to South Australia's Jewish leadership to reassure them they are not alone. He says the state government stands with our Jewish community and will do all they can to ensure they feel safe, supported and protected. Death toll from the Bondi massacre has risen to 16 this morning, including a child. Sadly, that figure is expected to rise, with around 40 others injured. One of the 2 alleged shooters has been killed. Another is in custody. The men targeted Hanukkah celebrations. World leaders have condemned the attack, including Israel PM Benjamin Netanyahu.
We saw an action of a brave man that stopped one of these terrorists from killing innocent Jews. But it requires the action of your government, because history will not forgive hesitation and weakness.
SA's Premier Peter Malinauskas says the terror attack is truly horrific, confirming he's spoken with the Jewish community in SA and will do all they can to ensure they're safe and supported. Also this morning, more than 17,000 students have completed their SACE this year. That's up by over 1,000 from 2024. 9 in 10 South Australian teens were studying the certificate, with more than half mixing subjects with vet and uni options. The National Cabinet has met in the wake of Sunday's horrific terror attack at Sydney's Bondi Beach. PM Anthony Albanese agreeing strong, decisive and focused action is needed on gun law reform.
We live in a more dangerous world in 2025. The threat of anti-Semitism, as we have seen, is very real.
The changes including potentially limiting the number of guns an individual can own. Security will be a top priority at some big events in South Australia over the coming days, not least of which the third Ashes test at Adelaide Oval. Premier Peter Malinauskas says they're at a heightened level of alert after the terror attack.
It is appropriate that we are at a crescent sense of alertness just at the moment. I want to thank South Australian Police for their already active engagement with Adelaide Oval management.
And a major breakthrough in the Michelle Sumner murder case. Police arresting a 37-year-old man. She was found unresponsive in the Southern Parklands back in January. The man will front the Adelaide Magistrates Court today. Cricket fans can knock over the traffic and score free public transport to the Ashes test at Adelaide Oval starting this morning. The Aussies, led by South Aussie stars Travis Head and Alex Carey, are chasing a win to retain the Ashes in front of an expected sellout crowd. Free travel on all buses, trains and trams is available each day of the test. A desperate search is underway off Cape Jaffa after 2 fishermen failed to return yesterday afternoon. The alarm was raised around 4 o'clock when the men didn't come back from collecting craypots near Kingston. Police, SES, the police air chopper and local boaties scouring the area overnight. A sea of flowers is growing at Bondi, with mourners continuing to pay their respects to the victims of Sunday's terror attack. The mum of the youngest victim, 10-year-old Matilda, addressed a crowd yesterday.
I can't imagine I will lose my daughter here. It's just a nightmare.
The Ashes are back in Adelaide today. The city's rolling out free public transport for ticket holders, with SA's Travis Head and Alex Carey in the Aussie lineup. Expect a huge crowd as the third test gets underway at Adelaide Oval this morning. Extra services will run all weekend. Mourners are continuing to visit a memorial at Bondi Beach Pavilion to pay their respects to the 15 people killed and the dozens injured in the terror attack. The devastated family of 10-year-old Matilda, the youngest victim, also visited the site, including her aunt.
you can see, like, you know, she was playing with the animals, and now she's gone.
Tom Silvani is being sentenced in Melbourne today, less than a fortnight after being convicted of rape. In the UK, the driver who ploughed into a crowd of fans celebrating Liverpool's Premier League championship has been sentenced to more than 21 years behind bars. A beloved FA brewer Big Shed is officially shutting down after a dispute with landlords forced the closure of its Royal Park site. Police are investigating after a man was shot dead at McLaren flat last night. Emergency crews were called to Oakley Road just before 6, where a 62-year-old man died at the scene. 2 men have been arrested and a firearm recovered. Police say it wasn't random and there's no risk to the public. The search for missing fisherman Gary Twentyman off Cape Jaffa has entered a critical stage. His best mate Ian Matheson was found dead Tuesday night, but Gary's brother says he's not giving up hope. 10-year-old Matilda, the youngest victim of the Bondi Beach terror attack, will be farewelled at a funeral today. There were emotional scenes at other funerals yesterday, and there's also been a special memorial service to honour all of the victims of Sunday's tragedy.
Our nation is stronger than the cowards who seek to divide us.
PM Anthony Albanese there, and Warner Brothers is urging shareholders to reject a takeover bid from Paramount and take the offer from Netflix. Paramount needs 90% of shareholders for a hostile takeover. 2 men have been charged with murder after a fatal shooting at McLaren flat. Police say a 62-year-old man was killed during an altercation on Oakley Road last night. A firearm was recovered at the scene. The pair will face Christie's Beach Magistrates Court today. A compliance blitz is underway in SA childcare centres. Staff have been told to reset iPads, remove devices from bathrooms and delete images of children's injuries under new safety rules. Inspectors say the changes follow tougher national guidelines. The 24-year-old man allegedly behind the Bondi terror attack has been charged with 59 offences. That includes 15 counts of murder and committing a terrorist act. The other alleged gunman, his 50-year-old father, was shot by police and died at the scene on Sunday, while PM Anthony Albanese attended a memorial service for the victims last night.
Our nation is stronger than the cowards who seek to divide us.
And Warner Brothers is urging shareholders to reject a takeover bid from Paramount and go with the offer from Netflix instead. 6 high-tech buoys are being deployed across SA waters to detect harmful algal blooms before they hit our shores. The devices send real-time alerts to scientists to monitor water quality as part of the $102 million summer plan. The first 2 buoys have been launched at St Kilda and Stansbury. Shoppers will have extra time for last-minute Christmas gifts with midnight trading starting tonight. Stores across Adelaide, including Rundle Mall and major Westfield centres, will stay open until midnight on Monday and Tuesday nights. The extended hours are part of the state's shop trading reforms. Residents are returning to Bondi following the heartbreaking terror attack. Jewish surfer Aaron Elstein on 9 after being one of the first to cross the bridge.
Yeah, it took me 10 minutes to stand here. As soon as I got here, I looked over, I was dropped to my knees.
15 people remain in hospital while the country's peak Jewish bodies labelled the federal government's new hate speech laws a good first step. Need more time for Christmas shopping? From tonight, Adelaide stores, including Rundle Mall and Westfield centres, will trade until midnight. They'll do it again on Monday and Tuesday next week. Perfect for picking up those last-minute presents. Maybe soaking up the festive vibe. Glenelg's Jetty Road reopens to cars tonight after 5 months of closures for that $40 million revamp. Businesses hoping for a bit of a boost, but works will continue into 2026 with full completion due in the second half of next year. 6 high-tech buoys are being deployed across SA waters to detect harmful algal blooms before they hit our shores. Well, there have been emotional scenes in Bondi as the footbridge used to carry out the mass shooting reopened. Jewish surfer Aaron among the first to return.
It took me 10 minutes to stand here. As soon as I got here, I looked over, I was dropped to my knees.
Audio there on 9. And King Charles is being praised for pulling a perfect pint at the opening of the new Guinness Brewery in London. Well, England's coach has conceded a scuffle between a team security guard and a cameraman at Brisbane Airport wasn't ideal. It happened on Saturday when players were preparing for their flight to Adelaide. Brendan McCullum says they need to soak up the pressure as the third Ashes test begins here on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think it's
the music stops at some stage, right, in everyone's careers, and you don't get that scrutiny, you don't get those eyeballs, you don't get the pressure environment that you're operating in now.
The top of the ladder 36ers could be missing a big man for their clash against the Kings on Wednesday night. Nick Rakocevic was charged with striking in the third quarter of their win over Melbourne United. England and Australia train at Adelaide Oval today ahead of Wednesday's third Ashes test. Usman Khawaja hoping for a recall, and he should get one according to former tester Mike Hussey. Hussey wants him back opening the batting, and Travis head back down the order to number 5 where he thinks he can be more consistent. The Big Bash season has begun at Perth Scorchers with a rain-reduced 5-wicket win over the Sydney Sixers at Optus Stadium. The Strikers play the Sixers on Wednesday night. Aussie skipper Pat Cummins has all but confirmed Nathan Lyon will be back tomorrow for the third Ashes test in Adelaide after being overlooked in Brisbane. The spinner hoping to add to his 63 wickets taken at the Oval, the most in its history.
I've bowled 2 overs this whole series. I haven't really had the opportunity to get my teeth into this test series yet. I'm expecting guys to take me on, yeah.
An AFLW draft night. 5 new players went to Adelaide, headlined by Victorian Chloe Brown with pick 5, Port selected SA Sophie Eaton with pick 17, and Olivia Crane with pick 30. The third Ashes test gets underway later this morning. Australia's leading the series 2-0. England captain Ben Stokes says his side hasn't given up hope.
Just fight, understand what you need to do as an individual in that moment for your team. You've got a responsibility of the team throughout the whole game. And knowing that and understanding that and showing fight is what we all need to do this week.
And apart from being a warm one, there will be increased security at Adelaide Oval today in the wake of the Bondi terror attack. Authorities say there's no link between the mass shooting in South Australia, but police have a responsibility to make people feel safe. And while all players will wear black armbands in honour of the victims, you can hear it all live and free on Triple M and the LISTNR app later this morning. Hometown hero Travis Head will open the batting for Australia in today's third Ashes test in Adelaide. Usman Khawaja overlooked despite recovering from back spasms. Skipper Pat Cummins says, why change what's working?
I think the big thing that's shifted on us is probably Trav opening after that first test and how good that's looked with the weather. So we're pretty happy with that batting lineup and it didn't feel like a need to change the middle order.
A scorching couple of days coming up. There'll also be increased security at Adelaide Oval in the wake of the Bondi attack, and all players will wear black armbands in honour of the victims. Also this morning, former Power captain Tom Jonas is a hot tip to take Warren Treadray's vacancy on the Port Adelaide board. Australia will resume at 8 for 326 when day 2 of the third Ashes test gets underway later this morning. Alex Carey starred for the Aussies yesterday, knocking a century in front of a record crowd at his home ground at Adelaide Oval.
Really good feeling to score 100 on home soil. Family and friends were here. Really a little bit of a sticky situation there straight after lunch as well.
Usman Khawaja scored 82, a late call up to the side after Steve Smith's illness. You can catch every ball live on the LISTNR app, and the 36th winning streak's been snapped, going down by 4 points to the Kings in overtime in Canberra. Australia will resume at 8 for 326 when day 2 of the third Ashes test gets underway later this morning. Alex Carey starred for the Aussies yesterday, knocking a century in front of a record crowd at his home ground in Adelaide, more than 56,000.
Really good feeling to score 100 on home soil. Really a little bit of a sticky situation there straight after lunch as well.
Usman Khawaja scored 82, a late call up to the side after Steve Smith's illness. You can catch every ball live on Triple M and the LISTNR app this morning. Well, last night, the Strikers beat the Sixers at the SCG for the first time since 2017. The Poms are not giving up despite the Ashes appearing to slip from their grasp during the third test at Adelaide Oval. England trails Australia by 158 runs with only 2 wickets remaining.
We're disappointed, of course. I think we're still fighting. We're still scrapping away in terms of what we're trying to do. Thought Australia bowled well and didn't make it easy for us. And credit to them for that.
The assistant Marcus Trescothic, their play will resume this morning on Triple M and LISTNR with Ben Stokes and Jofra Archer at the crease. The Poms are not giving up despite the Ashes appearing to slip from their grasp during the third test at Adelaide Oval. England trails Australia by 158 runs with 2 wickets left.
We're disappointed, of course. I think we're still fighting. We're still scrapping away in terms of what we're trying to do. Thought Australia bowled well and didn't make it easy for us. And credit to them for that.
Assistant Marcus Trescothic, their play will resume later this morning on Triple M and LISTNR with Ben Stokes and Jofra Archer at the crease.
Hisense and the NRL are going big like never before. Go bigger with a Hisense TV.